What's going on YouTube? How's it going? Today I'm with Kevin, and what did you do today?
I went to the Montana Regional, first one ever. Shout out to all the people that also went. It made it a really cool event. Super good staffing, super good judging, everything was good. I got second place at the regional with Brandon Despia. Went for X1, and I 2-0'd everybody until the last round, which was a really funny incident. But yeah,
awesome.
The deck performed super well. Side deck choices were really good, and yeah.
Awesome, cool. Let's just get right into it then.
Alright, so the typical stuff that like everybody plays is like always like the 3 Aliber, and then I would play 2 Tragedy. I know this one's like a little bit like of a hot debate of like should you play 2 or should you play 3, but I played other cards that like I felt like were a little bit better than this one in a moment, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna play 3 of another card I'll show you later, but I just figured that I didn't want to like Allure of Darkness this all the time. It's because I wanted the graveyard effect.
Gotcha.
And then for more Despia cards, I played the Libithum, and then the Dramaturge. These cards were broken all day. This one's pretty standard, but this one I feel like wins the mirror match a lot too, just because you get like a huge fusion monster, and you're able to like, it's 3,000 attack, so at the end of the day, you're just beating people over, and it was so good all day. Big fan.
Awesome.
And then for more monsters I play, these are like the one-offs. I play the one kit. This one's like, you kind of have to play it, but it's like not that great. I play the Snow, because you kind of have to with the lights, and I play the Albion. This card was cracked all day. There's a combo, most of you know it already, but like there's a combo that you can do with this with another card, broken all day. And then for the standard, this used to be at 2, but like ever since then it's been at 3. Yeah, they're all different rarities.
Nice.
But yeah, I feel like you have to play 3, even as like a card in your hand, it's still pretty broken because it becomes an easy discard or an easy Allure of Darkness target, which I'll go into later. But then I play, this is the one that like a lot of people kind of disagreed with me on, but I don't get it, is I played 3 Mercuriers.
Okay.
This card was broken all day. This is A, how you win the mirror matches, and B, having an effect negation when you're going through like your Despia plays and your Branded plays, absolutely just make it so like broken, amazing, and just like a lot safer. And like I play a Brigade, so it allows me to search this at the end of the turn, which is just another negate during my opponent's turn.
Yep.
Yeah. And then for the last monsters I play, which I can go into like the other engine, is I play 3 Edge Up Chain, 3 Package, and then 2 Polymerization. This is really good. I know some people are cutting this down, but I always want to see this card for like future tips. Like if you want a side deck and you want to like go second, I'd recommend taking one of these out and then playing 3-2-2 going second, just so you can like help with your consistency but not ruin your engine too much, because you'd rather see multiples of those than these, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this package was broken all day. Every time I resolved it, I felt like I won.
Awesome.
These are pretty standard. 3 branded open fusions, 3 openings, 2 red, and then like an MVP card that like is Lost. Lost was cracked all day. The fact that your opponent can't respond is just absolutely dumb. Like, don't let your opponent respond and you kind of win games.
Right.
So this is pretty basic. And then one more card that I played for like a branded card was like Branded Sword. I can show like a little bit of like what this purpose is, but like this allows you to like +3 at the end of the turn, and I'll explain it in a bit. And then for like more consistency cards, I played 3 Allure of Darkness. That's why I played 3 Mercurier, is because Mercurier allows you to get Albion, which then like allows you to pitch Branded Sword, and then allows you to get this card, and then get Mercurier back into your hand, which is just absolute like.
That's so good.
It's so like you +3, and like you have the Mercurier, the negate back in your hand. It's so stupid.
Crazy.
And then for going second cards, 3 Super Polys.
Nice.
Gotta get the ultis. And then the 3 droplets, because you also have to have ultis. And then the 1 common called by. I felt like with this deck, it was a lot of good gas, and I thought like the amount of gas I had just allowed me to go second pretty well, and it worked every day. Like when I saw these so consistently. And there's another card that like I played in my side deck, which your opponent just can't respond to, and this is cracked all day.
Awesome, awesome.
And then for the extra deck I feel like is pretty solid for the most part, even in a new format of 2 Ice Jade, 2 Libellions, 2 Albions. This is the only one I've thought of maybe playing 3 of, just because like I think this is like honestly the best one. It's the most versatile, and it is like the best one just because the end phase effective setting is really good.
Yep.
And then, so those are like the main ones. Maybe moving forward, I might play 3 of these and 1 of this, because this second one never ever came up for me in the tournament.
Gotcha.
And then I played the 2 Guardian Chimeras. This is pretty standard. It's broken. You draw cards, you pop, non-targetable. You know what it does.
Yeah,
it's so good.
That card's so good.
And then, so like one card that like most people don't play is I played the Mud Dragon, and then the Brigade. This was another card. Since I played through McCourier, I wanted to search McCourier at the end phase sometimes, so that's what this availability came. And honestly, came up a lot. And then Mud Dragon made my already broken Super Poly even a better target.
Oh, yeah.
Like I won a lot of games because like I would activate Dark during their turn, and they just couldn't target things, and it was pretty cracked. Like I wanted more Super Poly targets, and Mud Dragon definitely fit the bill.
Nice.
And then I play the 1. I know this is like kind of weird just because like I know everybody goes on 2. I didn't have a second one and I couldn't find one before the tournament, so that's why I settled on the Mud Dragon. And honestly, the 1 is kind of perfect. Like 2 would be good because like it ends the game a lot faster, but even if you just have 1, it puts your opponent on a clock that they have to answer.
Yep,
like
exactly.
I had in my last round, I had Jacob down to like 800 life points by the end of his first turn.
Wow.
And I was like,
That's
okay, like
insane.
I'm just gonna win. Yeah, it was broke, and they and you can't go through your optimal line of combo plays because otherwise you burn yourself out.
Yeah.
And then I play the 1 Cortez, the 1 Preskinidin, however you pronounce this guy, Titanclad, and then the Dragocepalia. These are like possible Super Tally targets and are like the fusion ones. This card won me games against Sword Soul because they generally end on like Berserker, Chi Chow, and you can just summon any Despia and Super Poly and just run over everything, and the burn effect does come up. This card, like, all of these I think are like pretty important, and like this one is like kind of suboptimal, but like I just don't think that there's anything better to play if that makes sense.
Awesome. I see that spicy side deck.
Yeah, so the side deck is like what won me like a lot of games, honestly, and I like honestly like I kind of threw this together the last second, but it had like a lot of rationality behind it, and honestly like it overperformed. So like the first one, which was like the spice, was 3 Lava Golem.
Nice.
I never normal summoned one, like rarely ever, and it was like never worth it to like not break the board. And I double Lava Golem somebody once, the easiest game ever. And then against Sword Soul, it's really good because you just like hit the worm monsters, and all you have to deal with is another one. So their blackout is dead, their board is dead, and you can like fall into like it's so good. Like 3 Lava Golem was definitely the move. I played 2 DD Crows. These were the last 2 cards that like I didn't know what to play with in my side deck, and I thought against like the Despia matchup it'd be pretty good. Against like it's just really good against like Rogue and other things. And I didn't. It was either this or Ghost Spell. With Prinket's dead now, I thought DD Crow would just be a better card. And honestly, like it worked out pretty well. I sat it in a couple times and it was pretty broken. And then for back row removal, I have the 3 Twin Twisters, the ultis, and then the red reboot.
How many times did you resolve that today?
I never resolved it once.
Not
so the
once?
reason I put it in every single match, and the reason for that one is because like with this deck, I feel like you just auto lose, like you lose to like D-Barrier and Anti-Spell and cards that like you can't really interact with, and your only interaction was like red reboot.
Yeah.
So I put it in every single game because I needed to see it. But the amount of times I've resolved Twin Twister was kind of cracked. I beat a Flunder player piece of it, and because he mined me, even though he went first game 2. And I still won because of it, because like I got him in an awkward spot with the other side deck. And then the You Can't Play Yu-Gi-Oh package, Tikaboo, and 3 D-Barriers. This was broken all day. Oh my god, I played against. So the reason for Tikaboo and not anything else is because like against Flunder, I never felt like going second with Tikaboo was a bad option. I actually did it. I played Flunder round 3. And I 2-0'd him because game 2 I went into Tikaboo, and then game 2 I had Tikaboo and I set it, and then I baited out his Rise of Monarch, and then during his turn I just activated Tikaboo.
Wow.
And then all he had was M-Pen, but I could still go off and just like had all my plays.
That's
and
so
then
good.
I wanted to play D-Barrier as well too for like the mirror match as well too, and for also like other rogue options.
Yep.
I know some Despia players really like cross out, but I just don't think. I think
really
this is
optimal.
Yeah, it's really not that optimal, and it is like the first tournament from a new list, so I wanted it to like be the most diverse like side deck I could possibly be, and I thought Tikaboo and D-Barrier definitely both fit the bills on that one.
Yeah.
So that's why I played both of them, and honestly these cards overperformed. Every time I saw them, I won. Like it was cracked all day, honestly. And with this deck, like I guess like a pro tip is like the reason I built this deck is because I didn't want to lose if I got Ashed on Branded Fusion. I wanted to have multiple plays past Branded Fusion, and I definitely felt like I always did. Like yes, I got Ashed on Branded Fusion. It kind of sucked, but I still felt like I always had a play. I always had a follow up, and I always like had an opportunity to win.
That's why the Frightfur package is so good, because it helps.
Yeah, the Frightfur package is really good. This is like a more skillful deck than I think people realize, because a bad Despia player can make this deck look tier 3, but while a good one, and I'm not saying I'm great, makes this look like high-key tier 1, 100%. But yeah, like definitely, I think what the MVP was definitely like the Lava Golem. Just like clearing monsters every single time was just absolutely broken.
Awesome. Well, congrats on getting second, man.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Any other shout-outs you got?
Shout out to Gage, because he didn't think I'd do well, so I won. I got second place, kicked butt. Shout out to Thomas, of course, the man behind the camera, and then shout out to Jacob. He actually beat me in the finals last round of Swiss, and he played Virtual World, played out of his mind. Really proud of him. It was honestly a really good event. It was the first regional Montana's ever had, and honestly, like, I'm super happy and like blessed to be part of this community, and I'm excited for more events to come. And I will be at Nationals because we are in there for that.
Awesome. Well, congrats again on getting second, and thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.
Appreciate it.